Okay, this is a 2004 Volvo S60 2.5 turbo in the USA. This may be similar to other years, I believe, and other models. This is a blower motor replacement. There's a good video by a guy I believe named Peppermint. You can watch his video. This is going to be pretty quick. And I'm not showing you actually uninstalling everything. I'm just going over what I found out and discovered here. So it's more of an intermediate video, so I apologize if you're more on the beginner side, but I think this will still help you and you'll be able to figure everything out. Okay, so here's where I'm at. I decided to take the carpet out. What happens with most of these blower motors is there's a leak, and that leak is up under the cowling right in there, and that needs to be fixed. There are other videos on that. I can't go into that right now. There's a plastic thing under there in this area here, and that has to be fixed because it's letting water run under the plastic. It's running into the blower motor. It's ruining your blower motor. It's also getting your carpet wet. So I'm going to address that later, but it's just been, I needed to get the blower motor fixed. The other thing is, if you have a snow brush or something, you know, if it's kind of working, you can tap it with a snow brush. I use a bristle part so I'm not damaging the thing, or a little broom or something. And you can tap under that, and oftentimes it'll work. You'll get a couple months of use out of it. But my use ran out. I just had too many other projects I couldn't get to it. But what I'm doing here is I want to fix everything in total. I don't want this thing to leak anymore. I need this to dry out down here, and I'm going to take care of it all in one swoop. Also, once I get the blower motor installed, I can drive the car without the glove box or the carpet inside. That doesn't matter, so I can address those issues later. But I would not just replace the blower motor alone if you have leaking water, because that will ruin the blower motor and you'll be back here in another year or so. All right. Okay, that's a little background. Hi, buddy. Not my cat, but he's more than welcome to stay here all he wants. Okay, so that's a little background here. For the most part, the first part's taking out the panel here. It's under black panel. Taking out this panel here. I'll show it to you. Just take a coin or a little tiny screwdriver, unscrew a plastic thing. It slides backwards, I believe, or forwards. Anyway, we'll look at the piece. I took out my glove box. It's got all these hex screws around here, or Torx screws. I think everything's Torx 25. And again, I'm taking the carpet out. I removed these. These are 14 millimeter. They came out of breaker bar. I thought they might be sticky, but they came right out. You could probably just use a regular half-inch drive. So took those out. You need to lift these up. There's little stub things there. You got to lift it up. See, it came right up. You know, you can lift it up an inch or so, half inch, enough to get the carpet out from under here. Removed the trim panel here to get the carpet out. On Peppermint, he took out this padding here. I didn't need to do that. And taking out the carpet fully, first off, you could try it without taking out the carpet if you don't have a water leak or you don't think you do. The problem is, you may not think you did, but if you ever get any sort of water or feel any water down here at all, or see it, or you feel wetness, there's probably water under here. And you can see some of the water marks here. So even if your carpet's not soaking wet on the top, there may be water underneath that's sitting there for years, which is kind of grungy and nasty. But you could try and take this out without removing the carpet. Again, because of my water issue, I took the whole carpet out. But I believe if you take the whole carpet out, you don't need to remove this rubber material. I simply worked the old blower motor out, and it came right down. Okay, so the trim piece here, use trim tools. If you don't have them, get them. Wear gloves. That way you can kind of work the piece out. You work this piece out first, and then use the two trim tools. I use one on either side here. You can kind of feel where the little clips are, and one of them broke. There's nothing you can do about that, but gently work them out. You pull this whole trim piece up here, and then you can access the carpet. So that's basically the deconstruction process very quickly. Here's the trim piece. That's the front. The back has this little clip here. Kind of it slides up under. So you can get this one first. You can use your trim tools underneath there and just work it up. Take your time gently. And what happened here is this broke off. If I wanted to, I could glue something here. I put some epoxy in a flat Christmas tree body panel thing and stick it on there, but I don't know. I'm not sure I'm going to worry about it. So again, you're putting your trim tool on both sides of this and gently trying to lift up, or just as you get up a little bit, you can work your fingers in there and gently work it up. So that pops right out. Here's this piece, side panel piece. This faces the back of the car, so that's the piece you move with the coin. So it sits, I guess, like this. And if you look at these clips, I think you pull this out a little bit and slide it backwards. And it came right out. This is where there's, I believe, the vent area. You can see these tabs here, so it has to slide backwards. Glove box, mine has the integrated dampener system. So I went ahead and there's a little clip under here, this little thing here, which you slide, on mine you slide out of this slot here to release the dampener wire. On the one Peppermint had, the dampener was attached to the vehicle, so you have to unscrew it. Now again, and he may have missed it, they may have a place where you can undo the string. So undo this just to let the glove box hang down freely and not worry about breaking the string or anything, and then you undo all the 25 Torx screws around here. I think there's, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many there are around the frame, and then you've got to unclip these lights. They're no big deal. They're little push tabs to get these loose. That's a car seat. This is why you have to undo those bolts. Again, it takes 30 seconds. This is one of these things where you're going to be in a hurry, but just do it right and it's a lot easier. And you can see all the water damage on this foam thing. It's still wet even after being out for a couple days. I'm going to take it inside the house maybe, where it can be a little drier in there now that it's not soaking wet. It wasn't horrible, but you can see how much damage. So this is the part that goes on the where you have to undo the bolts. There's another look. It's a good chance to vacuum the thing out, clean it out maybe. Or not. So many projects. Alright, there's the panel that goes, the first panel you take out actually is this one, and there's 2 screws. Again, I believe they're Torx 25 here and here. This is a clip. I'll show you where that is on the vehicle. Again, use your trim tools and gently try and work this thing out. You don't want to break it. And there's the trim tools I use right there, the 2 red things, and then I'll kind of use this. Actually, I use this on top of these, so you're trying not to mar everything and just gently work everything out. And that's where that panel clips right there. This matches the first panel you're going to take off. Those cover the seat, the bolts on the seat that you saw earlier. There's the bolts, 14mm. Again, I just use a 1/2 inch. Those pop off again. You can see how they clip on there with those little things. Again, use your trim tools. I prefer those rather than a screwdriver. Work them off gently. Here's a couple of tools I got. I got that on eBay somewhere. I don't know what you call it. It's like a hex bit, odd bit kit. It's got these square bits, 6-star, 12 stars. This I got from AutoZone, which has again a number of sizes, and the one missing there is the 25 T25. I bought that kit. I didn't really need it. I already had that. That's from Great Neck. Again, that's pretty useful here, but not perfect. These actually may be more useful because they're shorter, but I'm going to take them back. I don't need them right now. Screwdriver, I bought that too. Okay, you can use it in the front ones, but for reaching the very difficult back one, it won't work. Because the problem with the back one is you're at too much of an angle. You can't get a bite on the Torx screw. So, the problem in this thing is how do you get out the last screw of this thing. And it looks like one of them's already broken. That happened on Peppermints too. I think people just break that last screw. Maybe I didn't even need to screw that thing out. I hope I didn't. Work on this for 2 days, a day and a half, when I don't even need it. So anyway, his was also broken. If that's the rear one, I can't remember which is which. So anyway, this is a combo you can use. See the little bit. This is an 11 millimeter. 10 millimeter. So those little things fit in there. And this, you're going to need this. Because when you're reaching up into that back one to get the back one, you're going to need this as a setup you're going to need. This one will work for the other ones, or this one will work for the ones in the front, either of those. Again, that's a T25, T25, T25. But for the very back one, you're going to have, this is the only setup that'll work, but it will work. You sit outside the car, reach your hand in, let me show you. You're going to sit like this, reach your hand in all the way back, and you can get this thing out. Also, you can take these, you can put a little masking tape around here so as you move this thing, it doesn't fall out of there. But this is the only way to get to that back one, like this. It'll work. And a little extension might be helpful there too. Okay, so on this thing, you pry this cup off again using your trim tools. It sits something like this, whatever, it pries off. On the old one you care less about than the new one. Then there's screws here, you get rid of these, which are these. You slide this thing out of this cup. Again, you slide it out. That it slides off the shaft here, this metal thing. Then that'll expose this resistor item, which you're going to need to get out and put into the new unit. These are T25. I'd spray these with a little lubricant. These two screws here, they were very sticky. And that's where this comes in handy, that you can put some downward pressure, not strip those things. I tried it with these, it didn't work. So I sprayed it with a little WD-40, let it sit for an hour. Came back at it with this, but you got to push down. You try not to script these screws because this thing has to go in the new one. So on the new one, same thing. You have to, on your new unit, you're going to gently pry this unit off. You're going to unscrew this, slide this out. You're going to put this in and then put it back together. Put this back in and then put that cap back in. And that's basically it. Reinstall. This wire will clip onto this unit, and then the wire inside the vehicle will clip through here to, let's see here, yeah, it'll clip to this side. So this wire clips here, and then the wire from the vehicle clips into there. Again, these can be a little problematic to get off. You just got to take your time, and that's where I actually use this pick tool. Sometimes you can use a pick tool and slide it in to hold the tab down, and then pull the clip out. So you want to be careful not to break those clips, as always. Volkswagen, Audi clips can be persnickety. So I think that's about got it. All right, quick hit on this thing. I know it. Hopefully it helps people. Oh, and again, on the trim tools, I slide both of these up. Let me show you how I do that. So on the trim tools, I'm sliding both of them around on the left and right side of that clip, and as you're sliding the trim tool, you can feel it. So you slide one on the other side, and then I'm gently working it up, just taking your time. You got to take your time. Then if you can get your fingers under there, that's why you want to wear gloves. Then you can kind of work it out and try not to break it. If the little retaining clips break, those can be purchased online or at a store. No big deal. If the actual trim piece breaks, you just end up, like I said, I'll probably end up with a trim piece that has 4 connections instead of 5. It's not a big deal on an old car like this. So I think that about covers it. Reverse installation. I'm going to put the blower back in, hook it up. I'm going to test it all. Before I seal everything up, I'm going to test it. I mean, like I said, I'm going to leave this out. Then I'm going to fix my leak, and I'm going to still drive it for at least a couple weeks like this. I may throw a junk piece of carpet down here. I'll bolt these back down, of course, just to be safe. Put these 2 bolts, snug them up. But you can drive it like this. I don't want to have a glove box or anything. But I want to make sure I don't have any leaks. So after it rains or snows, something I can reach up under there, feel, do I have any leaks? Oh, the other thing is, the last thing is, you got this hose here. I'm going to check if that has leaks. One thing you can do is just get a funnel, an assistant, and pour some water through there. Blow through it. If it's clogged, you can get a small piece of rubber that you can pick up at like O'Reilly's, which is a vacuum hose line, and slide it in there. You could also use a coat hanger, but you have to wrap the end of the coat hanger with some tape, because you don't want to puncture this thing anywhere. So I prefer just trying to pour some water in it. The other way you could do it is take a vacuum and have it blow out, and hold your hand like that and stick the vacuum in there and see if you can just blow any debris out. Clean this thing out, because it's another thing too, is if it's clogged, there is going to be water and moisture. You can't stop it all from getting inside the blower system. Then it needs to drain out. So that's what this is for. And again, the easiest way is to take a funnel here, pour water down it. If the water just floods right down through to the bottom of the car, then you know this thing's open. You don't have to worry about it. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope this helps. So the previous picture was for the air filter. So while you're doing all this, go ahead and replace the air filter. Mine's only a couple months old, so it's clean. But even if you don't want to replace it, open it up. If it's clogged and filthy and dirty, I think it's better to not use an air filter, because you're just blocking, I don't know, 40-50% of your airflow and circulating dirty air through a filthy air filter. So I would just say get rid of it. But anyway, if you don't have time to replace it. But there's the blower motor I got this at AutoZone. Probably the price is a little on the high end, but I know if you do ship to home for AutoZone, you get 20% off usually. So, but I don't really care. Again, I'm doing the project myself. I just need to buy one and get it installed. And I think their warranties are good and their quality's good. So far, I've been pretty satisfied. So PM 9295 VDO TYC. And again, I think those are pretty well-known brands. Now, keep in mind, I don't have the carpet under there or the dashboard or anything else, so it's going to sound noisier, way noisier than normal. But here we go. The moment of truth. Oh, look at that. Wow, way better. Way more airflow. Again, it's going to be noisier because there's no glove box in there or carpet down there. I just loosely, screwed in, snugged up like 3 screws. I just wanted to make sure it worked before I went in there and got especially the back screw, before I snug it all up. So don't forget to rehook your drain hose. Also on that drain hose, you can just blow into it. If air's going right through, it's probably good. I think most of the problem isn't the drain hose usually. But anyway, that can get clogged with debris, especially, again, depending if you park your car in leaves, or I know some places in the south you get a lot of pine needles and junk. Anyway, mine was clear, so that wasn't the issue. It's the leak under the cowling, which I'm going to fix. And by the way, on that thing, you pull out the plastic thing, I think you put silicone around the bottom to seal it up. All right, that's it. This project is officially done, except for putting everything back together and the front thing. But anyway, you get the idea. Blower motor done. Hey, thanks for watching. Not my cat. Hi, Big Orange.